Hello, it's me, Billy from the future. Um, I flub my lines a shit ton here, and I'm very aware of that. That's all I wanted to say.
It starts.
Ooh, who did that? So when I was younger, when I was 15 years old, when everyone around me in high school was obsessed with Hazbin Hotel stuff teenagers would naturally go towards. I was not like that because I was obsessed with a show from 2009. I think the entire 2022 or 2021 I was obsessed with it, and it was called The Middle. Just an average, very average sitcom, but I gravitated towards it so much for really no reason. And as a 15-year-old, I wrote fan fiction, a lot of fan fiction. Unfortunately, since a lot of it was all on my old phone, like the notes app on my old phone, when my phone broke, I lost all of it except for the ones I posted on Reddit, on Tumblr, on my old account. Please keep in mind I was 15 years old. Keep in mind. I know, I guess I'm sad and nostalgic at the moment, so I wanted to reread them, see if they were worth any merit.
Aww. Aww. Aww.
Oh, before we get into this first fanfiction on my old Tumblr, which I will probably not name because it is extremely embarrassing. My old Tumblr was extremely embarrassing. No. I've identified as ficto-romantic since 12, 13. And I was madly in love with one of the characters. I do not exaggerate when I say that. But it was the most average guy you can think of. His name was Bob Weaver. He only appeared for the first few seasons, and then he just left. Yeah. Time to read before we squee. I'm gonna read this as serious as I can. / series. Where do you think you. Oh shit. Ready. Where do you think you're going, mister? Frankie semi-jokingly commented as she witnessed me going full speed to the door. Oh yeah, that reminds me. When I was 15, I had such an attachment to the show where every single time I wrote fan fiction, self-insert fan fiction, I would always be an adopted family member. Not actually adopted. I'd be a full-grown adult. What was the story I made up in my head? I was kicked out of my mother's house. She kicked me out, and then I just moved in with the Hex, and that was just another family member. That was it. Back to story. Back to story. Don't you remember? I'm gonna hang out with my friend. I replied, painting myself with a worried smile as I watched Frankie lay on the couch, just wanting to get to my friend as fast as possible. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Bitch. Frankie smiled. Just don't cause any trouble. I am an adult. I don't think you have to worry about any more. Spelling mistake. Gotta get marks off for that. You already have your biological family, I responded, opening the door and started walking out. Still kind of looking at her. I finally made it to the apartment building and began walking my way up. Practically ran upstairs to their apartment and eagerly knocked on the door to see the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Yeah, I'm not joking when I say I was madly in love with this one character. I have no idea what captivated me with him. He's really average. He's just like a regular Joe who's like really awkward, but more like someone to laugh at, I guess, because he was pathetic. Wait, you know, Bob spoke. He somehow looked more prettier than before. This guy's like 30, 40 years old. I was obsessed with like a 40-year-old single man who still lived with his mom. Fucker still lives with his mom. Oh my god. This is me who still lives with. Hi, how are you? I beamed at him. I was so excited to hang out with him that I couldn't take my eyes off of him. Every small detail about him was so amazing to me. Dude, you're 15. Oh, good, good. He paused for a second. What about you? It's great so far. Ooh. We started staring at each other for what felt like a minute until Bob realized, oh, sorry, how rude of me. He opened the door, gestured to me to join him. I did such and followed him. So are we gonna watch a scary movie or not? Bob joked, having that adorable smile on him that I couldn't help but blush at. Yeah. I voiced, let's put this baby in. I ran over the DVD player to indeed put this baby in. Throughout the movie, I couldn't help but to glance at Bob. Just everything about him made me so happy and worth it. It was around the middle of the. Oh, he said the thing! He said the thing! It was around the middle of the movie when he started to get really terrified. He always said that he didn't get scared because he was a big man, but he did. He definitely did. A jump scare is what broke the camel's back, and Bob jumped and held tightly onto me, leaving me a mess. It only took him a few minutes until he realized what he did and turned to look at me, still holding on end. ... We just started staring at each other again. But it was so much more up close and more romantic. It was like we were leaning on each other in our perfect moment of happiness. I could feel his breath and his presence. Is our moment that ring ring was when my phone started to ring, which jolted us back into reality. I quickly left Bob for a second to answer. Hello, this is Daniel. Hey Daniel, it was Frankie. Sorry to call, but could you please babysit Brick for us? No one's here for him, and me and Mike have to do some errands. Sure, I'll be there soon. I knew Frankie was probably lying about this fanfic's long as hell. Oh my god. I had a lot to say. I knew Frankie was probably lying about the errand stuff, but I really didn't mind babysitting Brick. He was the one that I really related to the most. I turned back to baby. Yeah, baby wants me to babysit Brick. You want to join? Bob looked surprised for a second before replying with, sure, I guess. As Bob opened the door to the Hex house, we saw Brick in his usual place on the couch reading something. He didn't notice us walking to him, being too invested in his book. Hey, Brick's there. How's it hanging? Bob asked him, trying to sound as young and hip as possible. But Brick only responded with one finger raised, pointing towards him. That signaled he wasn't done reading a paragraph. Okay, I'm done. So, Brick, your mom and dad wanted us to babysit you while they're off doing... I paused for a bit. Frankie never told me what so-called errands she and Mike were doing. Stuff. So do you want to do anything to pass the time? Brick fell silent for a moment before looking up at me and Bob. Could we go to the library? I heard they recently received some more books. I asked before facing down and whispering to himself. Of course, Brickster. Bob smiled at him. A very precious smile, a smile that could warm up my freezing hands in the cold winter. A smile. Oh crap. I was like a flaming homosexual. Oh my god. If character AI like existed when I was like fixated on the show, I would have talked to those bitches all fucking day. I'm kinda glad it didn't. Oh crap, he noticed that I was staring at him. I quickly turned my head away to try to focus my attention on something else, anything. You both do that a lot, Brick remarked, which left us both confused. What do you mean by that, Bobby? What do you mean by that, buddy? What do you mean by that, buddy? Bob queried the young boy, eyebrows. Oh, reading's so hard. Yeah, eyebrows furrowed. Stare at each other. It always takes a while for the other to notice, he answered, adding a little comment at the end. Bob and I gazed at each other, both bewildered and unbelievably flustered. Why don't we just all get into the car and I'll drive you there, okay? Bob tried putting a smile on for Brig, while I just sat there dumbfounded. The library, Brig's favorite place. I'm more surprised at myself for not instantly thinking that Brig would want to go to the library. Walking down some of the book aisles with Brig and Bob, and the silence was kind of calming. Brig stopped at one of the aisles, took out a book, and began to read. I didn't even notice how close Bob and I were together until he started whispering something to me. Don't you just want some moments to last forever? Yeah, I get exactly what you mean. I faced him smiling like the first time we met. He started to beam, reminiscing. I still feel so bad for you. Oh, it was completely my fault. I should have looked where I was walking. Oh my god. I think I did write in my old phone like how we both met. It was either I was trying to find work, I was trying to find a new car because I didn't have a car. Like I was looking for a Frankie, and then we literally bumped into each other. Basically every fucking meet cute you see and shit, man. I don't know how it happened, but we just started lightly giggling like a bunch of teenagers reminiscing about stupid crap. We both began laying our guard down, just enjoying a moment in our company. You know, Daniel, about before when we were watching that scary movie, well, I wanted to, and mine started panicking, remembering why we were here in the first place. Oh my god, Brick! I looked around the entire aisle that we were currently in. He was gone. He wouldn't have gone too far. Bob tried to reassure me, but the tone in his voice was very unconvincing. We both started to panic, searching all different aisles, all random reading places. Reading places? We looked almost everywhere until we searched at the front desk. Brooke was handing some books to a girl on the desk to loan. Brooke, you shouldn't have wandered off. We lost you for a bit. I speed walked up to him, relieved but also a bit pissed. Yeah, you scared us, Brickster. I'm remembering. I'm having like a not that so Raven. She sees the future. I'm having like yeah, a flashback. Cause I'm pretty sure in the first season Bob did call Brickster like once, and then I just ran with it. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you'd lost me. He then paused, looked down, and whispered, I'm lying. If Brick wasn't so cute, I'd be more pissed at him, but right now it was medium-ish level pissed. Pissed half full. Piss half full or piss half empty. As we made it back home, unfortunately, it was time for Bob to leave. Sorry, but I have to go back now. My mother will be crappy if I don't make it home at a certain time, so, you know. Yeah, I know. I spoke, gesturing my arms out, inviting Bob for a hug. He accepted that invitation, held me tightly around his arms. As we let go of a lovely hug, he still held onto my hands and asked me with a grin, so we still gonna hang out tomorrow, same time? Of course, Bobby. Well, see you tomorrow, Dan. Just like that, he was gone until the next day. With the door closed, I melted into a gay mess while Brick stared at me in confusion, then quickly went back into his book. Wow. Give a round of applause for that one.
I was sucking a lolly. Then I fell off a trolley.
Next fanfiction. Oh my god. So like it's very, very much based off of this season 2 Halloween party. When I was younger, I used to be obsessed with the Halloween episodes. Now I just don't like Halloween outright. It's not fun anymore, especially when you're an adult with adult problems and adult problem relationships. Hopefully next year's will be a lot more better. Finally, the best holiday had came. Halloween. False. Best holiday is my birthday. I eagerly waited for my friend so the night could truly begin. The rest of the household not so silently saying their opinions to themselves. Are you sure you don't want to come with us and meet him at the party? Frankly, politely asked me, just about to head outside, the cold seeping in. Oh, this is just like an exact quote from the season 2 episode. They really have to wear the stupid outfit just so I can be around other grown adults wearing stupid outfits. Mike grunted to the dismay of Frankie. He was a stubborn man, but it was funny seeing him in a campy Halloween costume. Mike and Bride of Mike. This is a deep cut reference because Mike did say this during the episode. Mike and Bride of Mike, followed by a small guy from history I don't expect a lot would remember. No thank you, we're just gonna hit some houses before we get to the party. I smiled, getting more excited by the second thinking about him. His adorable smile made my heart melt. I hope you mean metaphorically. Frankie titled? Tilted? This is a bad time to be dyslexic. Frankie titled her head a bit and looked at me. I couldn't tell if she was joking or not, but I still giggled at her exchange anyway. Waiting outside for him was painful. It felt like centuries having to sit tight for probably the most important person in my life, but God, when I saw him in the distance, I felt so blessed. It's so weird seeing my old, like how I described him, considering a lot of stuff. Because when I was younger, I used to have a lot of like fictional others. At least one cunt from every source I watched or like played was like my FO. Ooh. Oh, I just fucking remembered the time I wrote like self-ship fanfiction about like a guy from Danganronpa. Oh my god. I'm kind of blessed that one's lost. Lord Jesus. Thank you for erasing my old fanfiction. I speed walked. My obsession with speed walking. Dude, just run. Just run. I speed walked to him, cautious of the many small children, and hugged him tightly. He welcomed my embrace. Oh, Bob, you are so cute. I laughed. He was an old chimney sweeper with fake dirt on his face. He even had a chimney sweep. He blushed at my remark. And you? He stared at me. My costume paled in contrast to his. I was wearing a long black cloak sort of thing with a white ghost mask. This is exactly what I wore on Halloween that year as well. But like the thing was that like I recently watched Scream and I really enjoyed it. So I was like, oh, I'll be Ghostfaced, and completely forgot that he's like the most generic Halloween costume you could be. So like when I was out, I just kept on seeing more Ghostface. And I was like, why is there so many Ghostfaces? I was dumb. I still am dumb. Bob lightly smiled and removed my mask from my face, revealing my flushed face. The repetition. Grabbing 15-year-old me by the fucking shoulders and shaking him like, can you write better, please? There's my sunshine. Love you, was all I could think about saying to him while I gazed. I'm so in love with you. Come on, Daniel. Before all the good houses lose their candy, Bob beamed like a small child, dragging me along the neighborhood, trick-or-treating the entire neighborhood until we went to every last house. It didn't matter how old we were. We were having such a joyful night, acting like kids again. When Bob and I were finally done with trick-or-treating, we headed off to the Norwoods. Oh my god, I completely forgot about the Norwoods. I'm pretty sure they were like, going off of memory here, I'm pretty sure they were the Hex neighbors. I think the Norwoods got divorced in a later like seasons, and like Mike had an episode where he just like hung out with them. It was in the backyard of their house, but it seemed like the entire place was decorated for the spooky night. Very festive, very demure. It even had some apple bobbing, pumpkin carving, and scary music. Classic Halloween party. No one plays like the Silent Hill soundtrack when they're at a fucking Halloween party. It's always Monster Bash. You think someone ever played like the theme of Laura while they were at a Halloween party? I glanced over to my everything, who awkwardly grinned at me, some chocolate smeared on his face. Daniel, Bob! Frankie yelled out. Bob! She's falling down a well. Bob! Frankie yelled out, walking towards us. Mike trailing behind her. You two look so lovely. So lovely, she gushed, clamping her hands together. I felt her slightly teasing me for my feelings towards the little man. Yeah, 'cause the actor who plays Bob, Chris Catnip, he's like 5'5", I think. I know he's like very short compared to other actors. You look lovely, Bob rebutted. Frankie eyeing at him. Couldn't help but get a tiny bit jealous. Did you two seriously go trick-or-treating? The brick wall, also known as Mike, questioned us, getting another annoyed glance to Frankie. Of course, you're not too old for trick-or-treating. I answered the giant angry man, Bob silently agreeing and nodding his head to convince Mike, you should be a bit more like them and have fun, Frankie suggested, causing Mike to get peeved and exit the conversation. I felt a bit bad for him. I can understand where he's coming from with the antisocial aspect. After the awkwardness, Bob and I walked more into the party and onto the dance floor. There was a lot more people than what I was expecting. There was a doctor and a patient, a giant baby, and some guy in a mustard suit. Very amusing. Also, this is like the exact description of like the actual episode, but suddenly the whole room felt down. I was calling the world. I don't know if I like this or not, cause like I'm very dyslexic, and 15-year-old me, current me, still isn't very good with words, but like describing an emotion, ooh, not too bad. That's when I noticed upset expression on his poor face, like he had been plunged too many thoughts of worries and insecurities. I couldn't handle him saying like that. Oh, but you're right. You look sad. I stepped closer to the unsettled boy. I wanted to hold him and make all his sadness go away. It's alright. He dismissed my queries. Shaking his head, I knew he was holding back something that was bothering him greatly. Please don't lie. I'm always here to help you with whatever. Promise. Bob glanced to me before looking at the ground and sighing, holding my hand. Can we go somewhat private first? Vape break. We made our way to the Norwood's shed. It was dark and the sound of the outside world was muffled, kind of comforting. Bob nervously played with his hands, looking around the shed. What's been bothering me? You don't have to tell me the exact details. I just want you to help you through this. I reassured him that I would be with him, no matter what. He scratched his neck, laughing, realizing how he cornered himself quite literally. The thing is, the thing that's been on my mind is he was practically shaking from nervousness. Is you? He paused, watching my reaction of confusion. Ever since I met you, you've been on my mind. You're everything I could have ever hoped for. Taking a deep breath, he prepared for the worst possible outcome. You're the reason why I get out of bed with a smile on my face, and I love you, Daniel. Those last words shook me to my core. He noticed my face and shyly faced away from me, staring at a wall. I knew this was a bad idea. I'm so sorry for making you so uncomfortable. He stopped, apologizing as I held his hand and initiated eye contact. Anxiety kept clogging in his beautiful mind. Bob. Bob, what you told me is exactly how I feel towards you. You're my everything, my sunshine. Hearing my confession, my world beamed up again. A color filled the shed as Bob smiled at me and tightly held my hand, as if testing if this was a dream or not. Really? You love me too? He questioned, excitedly yet worried, still having the same soft, delicate expression on his face. I inched closer to him, hoping this moment would never end. Please never end. Please. Of course. Who wouldn't? Laughing as I embraced that boy. Hugging him hugging me tighter, silently crying on my shoulder from happiness. I love you so much. I couldn't exist happily without you. I whispered into his ear as I kissed his cheek. It was much softer than I thought, so perfect. Bob. Okay, imagine this whole thing, but it's like Bob Belcher. Imagine this whole fanfiction, but it's Bob Belcher. Bob. Bob pulled. Oh. Fuck. Bob pulled away from me for a second to ask. Fuck. How does how does Bob Belcher sound again? Would you mind if I would you mind? Oh. Would you mind if he didn't know how to explain his desire for affection, but he didn't need to? I knew and slightly nodded my head and gonna did him. Accepting his request, he pulled me back into our embrace and kissed me. Yeah. Imagine like French kissing fucking Bob Belcher. Oh my god. I bet there has to be like one person who's like obsessed with him. One lesbian who has like a shrine in him, like the Randy March lesbian. Oh, like imagine like a cardboard cutout of him, like 10 or like 15. Oh my god, the guy who has like a million cardboard cutouts of like the girl from Danganronpa, but like it's Bob Belcher. Oh, face red from blush and giggling shyly. Such a fucking precious boy. He deserves the entire world, hell, the entire universe. But unfortunately, our moment was interrupted by someone opening the shed door, most likely thinking that no one would be there. Bob and I quickly embraced. Oh, I get it. Embrace, but express. Inbred? No. In the wake of the newly revived person, which appeared to be Nil. Who's Nil? Which appeared to be Bill Norwood. Oh, hi? Mr. Norwood spoke, very confused. I was just here to grab something. Make yourselves at home? He tried his best to be welcoming to us and make conversation as he could as he walked out around the shed searching for something. Thank yous were tossed around from my sunshine and I. Bill left the shed. We turned to face each other and burst into laughter from how awkward all of us were. I never want to leave. I never want to leave your side again. Bob devotingly confessed as he held me, fondly staring at all my features. I softly kissed him. Who says we can't stay together forever? Me. 'Cause I don't have him as a fictional lover anymore. Not for a while. This video turned out super long, so I'm cutting it up into 2 pieces. Unless you don't want more from me, then here's my PO box if you want to send a pipe bomb.